Hello, this is the HBJ, your next edition of This Fat Fuck is Going on a Ruck Rant. Let's look at Lake Shannonwood, where I'm at today. Looks a little bit different with all the vegetation going away. Nice lake. So, we're about to hit the bridge. Let's check out the bridge. And the other half of the lake. Little fish action going on over there. Got a couple people fishing. Alright. Let's start today's Ruck Rant. And I always end up going off topic, but we're going to start with people when you're in public who talk on their fucking phones on speakerphone. Anytime I'm in public, let's say I'm driving, I'll drive on speakerphone because I don't use the car phone because that's stupid. But when I get out of the car, I immediately transition to the phone, which isn't nothing much better. Nobody wants to hear your fucking conversations. But to put it on speakerphone, holy jumping fucking Jesus. I don't want to hear shit of your conversation. Nobody does. It's annoying. Like, I was grocery shopping yesterday, and the conversation I was forced to hear. My ears were raped. They were putting unwanted information into my ears that I didn't want. They raped my ears. And as the conversation went on, it got worse and worse. It didn't help that they only had a couple registers open, and I was stuck behind somebody. I almost got out of line to go into another longer line just so I didn't have to hear this person's conversation, but it was awful. Their conversation started out about something to the effect of why people are working too hard at their jobs. It makes them look bad. I almost had a heart attack right there. As this conversation continued, my face was getting beet red of anger. Maybe not. I'm Italian. Doesn't get that red. But I felt it. I felt the anger inside of me. And I'm usually not the type to just not say anything. But yesterday, for some reason, I had self-control. And it just kept going and going and going. With stupid shit like, the boss shouldn't give incentives to people just because they do more work. What kind of fucking society do we live in now that being fucking lazy gets rewarded at all? Like, I grew up poor as fuck. I never got rewarded. I got an attaboy maybe if I did something that was attaboy worthy. But I didn't get rewarded ever. Like, now you're rewarding people for doing mediocre bullshit because they're upset that people are working too hard. What kind of fucking world are we living in? But it gets better. Oh, it gets better. Then, this person was driving home that day from work. Yes, I was behind him for quite a while. This conversation went on for a while. And you guys know my stance on. I've had a rant about driving, and I could probably do another hour, 2 hours on driving. Because for the last 2 months my job was 2 hours driving there and between 2.5 to 3 hours driving home. So I've spent a lot of time on the road in the last 2 months for my job. But nonetheless, and we might get rained on today. There's lots of rain in the forecast, but my fat ass needs to get out and walk. So they were complaining that they were in what's the far left lane, which here in Chicago is, if you can consider it, the speed lane. It's the lane that you go the normal, maybe 10 miles over, and if you're feeling froggy, as fast as you want. Just don't get caught. They were complaining that they were going exactly the speed limit in the speed lane, and people were riding on their ass. Now, when I would take 9094, I'd take 57 and 9094 in the morning, all the way through the city, you would get people who would ride your ass, fly around you. But that was me going 80 miles an hour. I was flying, and there were still people who want to go around. That's completely nuts, but that's different. But if you're going the speed limit, get in the fucking right lane. Nobody, even semis, don't go the fucking speed limit. They drive in the middle lane. So we're gonna, for the last two things that these fucking idiots brought up, they bring up that people shouldn't get rewarded for working too hard. Now that we're over the second bridge, let's look at some of the things we missed during the summer. This goes on for quite a while. Let's see how long I go before I get bored and we turn around. But between that and driving in the fast lane and having people beeping at them and riding on their ass, it makes no fucking sense to me. I don't get it. We're coming up on a puppy playing with the ball and their owner and a little puppy. We'll wait till we pass them. Hey, how's it going? Hi. How you doing? Oh, such a terror.
Yeah, the little ones are always terror.
You got it. Have a good day. Puppy must have been swimming. It was all wet. But, yeah. Hold on. Accidentally hit my headphones, and today's music is Perpetual Flame album by Yngwie Malmsteen. Song that was planned to start today was Damnation Game. Great album. Absolutely fucking stellar album. Red Devil being one of my favorites from the album. Let's get back to the conversation because I got a shit memory and I'll forget what I was saying. But to the point, people are entitled. They think that things are owed to them. Now I can do an entire rant on people who feel entitled, and it pisses me off. But where did we in society start thinking that things were owed to us and that people deserved things? Deserved, in their mind, is the key word, because that's what they feel, that they're deserving of something without achieving it, or working for it, or doing anything in return to get it. So, I have a theory. My theory is, when you start giving participation trophies and stop incentivizing people to do better, that's where you start going off the rails. And let me explain. So, I played baseball my whole life since I was, I'd say, 4 or 5 years old, in leagues. when we were younger, no matter how many teams were in the league, first, second, and third place got trophies. Everybody else, thanks for coming. It incentivized you not only to put together a good team, but it also incentivized you to give a shit and try. Go out and practice on your own. Not for nothing, but I was made to go out and hit and take ground balls even when there wasn't a team practice all the time. And I was good. Made the all-star teams. Played well. Traveled. But I still didn't expect anything. And I never grew up being one of those kids. Like, let's say I started wrestling at 10 years old. And you'd see it all the time. You see it definitely all the time now. And it's much worse that when a kid loses, they just cry. Fuck you crying for? Like, nobody in the history of sports ever went undefeated for a lifetime. Like, they lost something. It's insane. Like, maybe it's because the parents are shitbag parents and they make the kid feel like they can't lose and losing's not okay. Or it's because they're entitled. They think they should win. They think they should do good. I don't care how fucking stellar you are. I've seen some good athletes in baseball, basketball, football, wrestling, MMA, all sorts of organized shit. Some really fucking good, outstanding athletes. They've lost. I lost a lot. But you don't cry. You say, fuck, that guy was better. How did he beat me? Why did he beat me? What did I do to allow him to beat me? And then you practice that, you drill that. And hopefully, you remember that, and when you're starting to be put in that position again, you don't. It is what it is. But if you cry about it and feel that the guy cheated, that was weird. Headphones went on now by themselves. Check the old school iPod. See if I hit something. But yeah, now you got these kids. Oh, that's why. You got these kids that, oh, the kid cheated, the kid did this, the kid did that. Or you get these dickhead parents who run out on the mat for wrestling and baseball and football, and they start screaming at the refs and umps. Yeah, sometimes they fuck up and make bad decisions. They're fucking refs. But you shouldn't have put the game or the match in a ref's hand. It's your fault. Sorry. I've been personally the victim of bad refereeing, and I have no one to blame but myself. You know, shouldn't have left it up to somebody else to make that decision for me. I should have made that decision of winning on my own. My fuck up, be better next time. But now you got parents that come out and start like shitting on these refs and umpires. How about shut the fuck up? You're not out there trying to ump a ref. You're not out there trying to fucking do that job. Why? Oh, I ain't got time or this or that. Always an excuse. I can go on a fucking 5-hour rant on people making excuses for life. I ain't got time for that one. Maybe next spring, or if I get on a good trail sometime this fall, as long as we get weather like this, as long as it don't rain on me. Yeah, it's fucking goofy. And then You get people who grow up that way and grow up in that kind of culture and atmosphere. Hold on. Sorry, I had to push in my earpiece. Starting to sweat and it started falling out. But yeah, they get raised that way, and then they get older. They never learned how to lose. They never learned how to compete. They never learned the value of actually working for something that you want, because they've always been given everything. Mommy, Daddy, can I have this? Now listen, I have no problem with making your kids happy, buying them shit, no problems. I'd be a fucking hypocrite if I said anything else. But I personally don't believe in just constantly buying your kids shit all the time for no reason, because it becomes expected, it becomes entitled, and at the end of the day, then they become little shitbags, because when they don't get what they want, because you're so used to giving it to them, then they throw these tantrums. Fast forward, they grow up to people who go to work every day and complain that somebody who's working their ass off and getting shit done is getting special treatment that they should be receiving because they're doing a good job. And they're not. So it's just frustrating as fuck to, first of all, have to fucking listen to conversations in public. I hate that shit. And second, 80% of those fucking conversations are dumb fucking conversations that you don't want to listen to. If you're in public and your old lady wants to put you on fucking video phone because she needs to see something because you're a guy and you're out buying stuff because she doesn't want to leave the house and she'd rather you do it while you're out, I guess that's understandable. I guess it's understandable because we have video phones now. Whatever. But you're in a specific aisle looking at something specific, like whatever, and it doesn't, those conversations usually don't last long, and you're literally showing your old lady something on your little phone and deciding on a purchase. But I know that's kind of hypocritical, but this is my rant. But trust me, I don't want to do that or hear that either, but I guess there has to be exceptions to every rule, doesn't there? But that being said, unless I'm told otherwise or given any other examples where it might be okay, I don't want to hear your fucking conversation on speakerphone. That's why we have the option to click over to where it's not on speakerphone. And you could have that same conversation, and I don't have to be a part of it. And then if you say anything to these people, you're the asshole. Why do I have to be the asshole when you're in public screaming out? Yes, it's screaming because it's on speaker, which means it's on speakers. It's not like you could talk at a regular tone on speakerphone. But that being said, I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. It's not just me. It's everybody. I haven't met one person yet who's like, man, I went out today and these people had their phone on speaker. Boy, was that an interesting conversation. I chimed in. We all chimed in. We had a great conversation. How's it going? That's never happened. Ever. In the history of life. Hold on, another person's coming on a bike. Perfect time to ride these trails because all the vegetation's going away. How's it going? Yeah. Perfect time to ride the trails when the vegetation's going away. To get on a bike and ride it. I don't mind walking it because the trails are more wide open. And There's not as many bugs. I fucking don't like bugs. But you also get to see more of the water, what's going on ahead of you, what's going on behind you. I think once I get up to this little notch, I'm going to turn around. Just because it's a good turnaround point. I've been ranting for 20 minutes as it is to begin with. I got a runner coming from behind me. As soon as this runner passes me, we're going to do the old whoop-see-doo and turn around. But, yeah, let's go back to that entitlement thing for one more minute. And we'll talk about this. I had friends growing up, I'm not going to name any names, that anytime they struck out or lost in wrestling or let's say didn't do so well in any of the sports, softball, basketball that we played, they would completely lose their shit. Look at that. We got some kind of beaver over here. That's crazy. I could probably, no bullshit, kick that tree over. That's super cool. It's not every day you get to see shit like that. When you're out in the woods, in the middle of nothing, like this, you see cool shit like that. I probably couldn't kick that over, actually. That's actually pretty thick, but you never know. I might be able to do a good fucking front kick or push kick. Let me see if it even rocks. No, it's still about halfway. But that's cool. Cool find for today. But yeah, the kid was a fucking rock star for an athlete. Like, when it came to speed, he was one of the fastest kids I knew. When it came to agility, the kid was just a fucking absolute animal. His hand-eye coordination was very good. He could throw a fucking baseball. He was stronger than a fucking ox. Like, this kid was a real athlete. But when he would lose, like, he would lose a baseball game. Like, unless you were Dave Grabner or Jerry Needley, you didn't win all your games. It's just the way it was. They always had super badass teams. And once in a while you'd get lucky and beat them, but like, you'd have to be on your game. But if you just, anytime they would lose, or anytime he'd strike out or lose a wrestling match, he would cry. And I never understood it. Like, you're this awesome of an athlete. And again, I didn't know if his pops was making him feel like what the fuck, or blaming everybody else why his kid wasn't doing good. But man, he was such a badass athlete. He probably could have been better if he would have just concentrated more on improving than always crying. Because fuck, was this guy a good athlete. But again, you get that entitlement to where you don't think you should ever lose. You don't think that anytime you do lose, it's everybody else's fault but your own. Like, fuck, baseball, the easiest example. Now, I get it, sometimes you get bad calls by the ump, 100%. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. You get rung up on a bad call that you'd never swing at in a million years. Got it. Those are called unicorns. Unless Angel Hernandez is umping. But, that being said, somebody's running our way. We'll wait till they're gone. How's it going? But that being said, you control your own destiny. Swinging a bad pitch, at the strike. Your swing isn't on. You pop it up, you ground it out. That's on you. That ain't on the pitcher. I mean, he might be dealing, and he causes you to do that based on his pitching. There ain't nothing you can do about that. Sometimes dude's just on. As far as wrestling goes, you might run into a fucking buzzsaw that you never saw coming, or maybe you did. The kid was just a stud, and he just beat you. But you never know, man. You can't cry all the time. It just, God, it annoys me and frustrates me. And that's what makes people who, when they go in the fast lane on the highway, they fucking complain when there's people riding their ass. Now, I personally don't ride people's ass because with my luck, they'll slam on their brakes and I'll end up hitting them. And then that's my fault. But I do get a little closer when dickheads are weaving in and out of traffic and they try and get in front of me. I'm a little petty like that. And I don't think it's really petty. I think it's stay in your fucking lane and only go when there's enough room for your car to get in and use the fucking turn signal. But that whole conversation could be another driving rant. But let's try and wrap this one up with the fact that it all started with people's fucking speakerphone phone conversations that nobody wants to listen to. Happens all the time. I don't care if I'm in a restaurant, which that's the last place I want to fucking hear a conversation in a restaurant, or I'm in a grocery store, at Lowe's, picking some shit up. Anywhere I go, there's always one. And I don't want to fucking hear it. Nobody does. How's it going? So, if you're one of those people, put your fucking phone away. Or take it off speaker, put it up to your ear. I mean, fuck, man. That's how phones are meant to be used anyways. Put it up to your ear. I don't know if most of you remember, but back in the day, phones hung on a fucking wall. And to use them, there was a cord. You can only go so far away from that phone. You put the phone up to your fucking ear and you talk. That being said, I mean, I think technology has made us get away from things that are normal and normalizing things that aren't normal. Not just technology, but that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother time. So, I'm going to leave with this. Like I said, today's music is Yngwie Malmsteen. Perpetual Flames, the album. They don't pay me, but Black Rifle Coffee is fucking outstanding and amazing. I drink it every day of my life. Go get some. It's a veteran-owned company that does amazing things, and their fucking product is fucking stellar. It's banging. It's amazing. Support them. Buy their shit. Yeah. This is HBJ, HBTV, out.